I'm Joey,
I'm Jason.
and this is Metal
Monster
Review. Once again, here we are at Metal and Monster Reviews, and we're going back to that famous decade for horror, the 80s. Now, this one was a little overdue. We've talked about doing this one for a few, but haven't really gotten around to doing it. But now it's time. We're going back to, once again, 1981. It seems like we have an obsession with that year here as of late with some of the reviews that we've done. But once again, we're going back to 1981 to do Halloween 2. This movie to me is totally badass. I love it. Out of that original Halloween series, matter of fact, this might be one of my favorite ones out of that whole series to do. One thing that I love about it, it picks up directly where the first one left off. Jason, would you like to talk about Halloween 2?
Yeah, like you said, Halloween 2 picks right when the first one ended. I always think a good way to watch Halloween 2, watch Halloween 1, and immediately put Halloween 2 in when it's over.
No, I agree.
It's like a continuous movie. It picks right up, literally right up where the last one left off.
Oh, no, I agree with you there. And that's it. And the first time that I actually encountered Halloween and Halloween 2, I watched in the same night. It was many years ago on one of those USA double features, you know what I mean, where they showed Halloween, and then right after was Halloween 2. So what I liked about was the conclusion of the story, because that was my first time watching those movies. And I just loved that, because now you're wondering, well, what the hell happened to Michael? Where did he go? What happened, you know? And so basically the synopsis of this is Michael Myers follows Jamie Lee Curtis, you know, Laurie Strode, to Haddonfield Memorial Hospital right after the horrific attacks. And there's a different actor playing Michael this time. In the original, you had Nick Castle and you had Tony Moran. This one, I believe, was Dick Warlock playing Michael Myers. And a lot of cool stuff in this movie for sure. A lot of really cool kill scenes in it as well. And I love how Michael is just kind of stalking the neighborhood and overhears on the radio of, you know, they were talking about the horrific murders just a few streets over, and they were referring to him and stating that they took her to Haddonfield Memorial Hospital.
Yeah, I like that little part, and that kid has the boom box on his shoulder, and then it says where Laurie's at, and now Michael, he knows where she's at.
But he's been out of town for a lot of years, so how the hell would he even remember where the hospital was? Think about it. He left that town when he was 6 years old. Wouldn't you have some hazy memory? But then yet again, too, if that happened and Michael needed to fucking pull out a GPS or something to find where the hospital was, I guess we really wouldn't have a movie here. But I digress. So he follows her to Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, and there's like a creepy tone behind this, because look how creepy this hospital looks at midnight. You know what I mean? In the middle of the night, like the night shifts they're working, and it just kind of has like an eerie tone to it. And he ends up killing the hospital staff. He ends up killing the doctor, and he goes after Laurie. And it's a really awesome chase scene as well. But I just love how creepy the hospital looks in the middle of the night there.
Yeah, because most people think you get sick or whatever, you go to the hospital, you're there to be helped. But Michael's in this movie. There is no help. No,
you're not here for, you know, oh geez, you got a bellyache, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, no, you're not leaving alive here because Michael's in this hospital. But I mean, what are some of your favorite scenes out of this?
I think my favorite kill scene is when the hot tub. I like the effects of it they did. Like the third time she comes out, you see like her skin's just like peeling because that water's Michael cranked it up to holy fuck.
Yeah, I love it.
And then another. This isn't a kill scene, but it might be a question scene. Maybe you can answer.
Shoot.
The scene when it shows the little kid in the hospital, that giant razor blade in his mouth.
Yeah.
How did he even eat? How could you not notice that thing?
That's a good question. I mean, he must have bitten. Chances are he probably bit into an apple or something, because that's even really graphic too. because there's a scene where everybody, the staff is heading to the hospital. They're just kind of introducing you to the characters. The nurse was out at some Halloween party. She had to drop her friend off, and then now she's late for work for the night shift. And you can see a mother and her son pulling in to the emergency room. He's got a towel over his face, and turns out you can see a razor blade stuck in his lip. You know what I mean? So obviously he had to have eaten, a piece of candy or maybe got an apple with a razor blade in it. And that was even graphic and gory to see that. And you just see the after effects of the razor sticking out of his mouth. But one scene that I always liked was when the security guard gets killed, and it's building up some tension to that. You can see that somebody broke into the storage room, and he's telling the nurse on the other radio, somebody better call the sheriff and get somebody out here. Somebody broke into the storage room. There's something going on. Go get help. And he's checking out the scene and just seeing what's going on. And he closes the door. And next thing you know, you see Michael Myers there with that claw hammer right into the skull. Which another hammer scene with the skull would happen in Friday the 13th Part 2, which also took place when? 1981. So what the hell was with 1981 and people getting hit in the heads with hammers? Hell if I know. But I know a lot of killer movies came out that year for sure. I love the closure to this story. That's one of my favorite things about it. And we later find out in that film that Laurie Strode is Michael Myers' sister, which given him the driven force to kill her. You know what I mean? Because he killed his sister in the original. Now he's returned for this one. And I love that whole thing. You know what I mean? How they kind of portrayed that story.
Yeah, I was thinking about the film franchise. I think they're Halloween. Don't get me wrong, Halloween 2 is awesome, but I think they should have left the whole sister thing out.
Oh, really?
Because I think the first one, John Carpenter wanted him to be the Shape.
Yeah,
pure evil. He didn't have no motive to go kill all these people.
I understand that. I get that.
Sister thing. And, I mean, it's still, I still like it, but I think I might not have went that route.
No, I mean, you take that out of the equation. I like this theory here. Would you have left him as a pretty much a killer with no motive?
Yeah,
he's just there, wrong place, wrong time, and you're here.
But I can sort of see, like, I know some people complain what I'm talking about. They just
no, I think it's an interesting point. That's why I was asking.
But sometimes I think it was like meant to be, sort of, because in the first one, how much he stalks Laurie. Like, she's at school and then he's standing out there, walking down the street, pops his head out. Like half the other people in Halloween 1, he just goes and kills them.
Yeah. Maybe because they were affiliated with her?
I don't know.
I mean, here's another thing, too, now that you mentioned this. How the hell would he know what she looks like? He hasn't seen her in 15 fucking years.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. So.
Either way, the Halloween 2 is a good sequel. I like how they amped all the gore and kills up. They're more brutal in this one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love the whole isolation in the hospital, too, and him just roaming the halls.
They shot that hospital cool, too. It's always dark and freaking shadows everywhere.
Yeah. And you don't see a lot of patients either. Like,
no.
There's nobody here. You know what I mean? That hospital must not keep their patients too long. Everybody's treated and released. You know what I mean? Because you would think you would stumble into more patients on that ward, but what the hell?
And I wish they would have used Jamie Lee Curtis more. Most of the time, she's just sedated from all her trauma from the first one.
Yeah, because she had surgery.
But I understand that. It's a direct sequel, like picking right up, so she's still messed up, so she probably can't be doing too much anyway.
True. And like I said, she had surgery, you know what I mean? So she was, sedated and put under for a little while, and they sutured her all up, and she had that busted ankle, and she's hobbling around hiding from Michael. And there's a really cool scene at the end when they confront each other in the emergency room. Well, the operating room, I guess I should say. And it left off with a real bang. Needless to say, I don't want to spoil anything. And I love how Dr. Loomis is once again doing everything that he normally does ranting and raving about how evil Michael is, and he has the confrontation there with Michael as well. It is just a really killer scene. Now, do you have anything else you would like to add about Halloween 2?
Yeah, I think it's almost pretty well. I think it might be better than the first one.
In some ways, I do like it better than the first one because I like the closure to this story. I definitely see where you were coming from with, he's just a unstoppable killing machine at that point in time who came out of nowhere, you know what I mean? But I do like the closure to this story. And in some ways, maybe this series should have ended with that one. But that's always for later reviews. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe to Metal and Monster Reviews. I'm Joey.
I'm Jason.
And this is Metal
Monster
Review.